Hey everybody, thank you for joining Entertainment Today for another episode. Today we have Cory Evans with us over there. How you doing, Corey?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Right, 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 right. So, man, what actually got you okay, growing up as a kid? Can you tell us a little bit about Corey as a kid? What did you do, man? What kind
Uh,
of
got in a lot of trouble.
That's what
Uh,
we're all
um, I was a skater kid, skater boy.
Oh, me too.
Um, but man, um, yeah, I was just I wasn't expecting that kind of question.
I know it, man.
Um,
It's all good, dude.
uh, yeah,
I
no, I
mean,
mean, go ahead.
no,
Maybe
I was
help
just gonna say,
help
I
me a
mean,
little.
you had a good, like, I mean, your parents got along great. There was no like childhood issues or anything that kind of pushed you as an outlet to music and stuff like that. Or
Yeah, no skeletons in my closet, really. No, I have it. I have pretty good childhood. Yeah, parents were great.
awesome, dude.
Parents were together. They had nothing like that. And Yeah, had a really close relationship with my dad.
Nice.
And my dad was always big into music. He was in a band when he was in high school and a little
Cool.
after high school. He was a drummer. Unfortunately, not a guitar player. I always joke with him like, why couldn't you have been a guitar player and got one of those cool guitars from the '70s and saved it and gave it to me?
Right.
But so he had stopped playing. He had stopped playing drums when I guess after probably I was born. Just didn't have time for it anymore. And so probably like 10 years ago, me and my brothers, well, it was like one Christmas, we got together and bought him a drum set and,
Cool.
uh, and got him back on the drums playing again. And that's kind of when I started playing guitar a lot more and getting into bands and stuff like that. So we would jam together and those things.
That's
But
cool, dude. That's a
yeah.
good memory to have, Bo. It really is. So like, what style of music what genre do you say that you fall in? I mean, we got
Uh,
some country guys, we got some Christian rappers, we got I've come across all kinds of stuff, dude. That's actually really cool. I mean, I just love music. So where do you put yourself?
Well, that's the thing is if you listen to my album I released last November is called Something in the Water. There's probably a song from like every genre on that album. I've got some blues, got some hard rock, some kind of borderline metal stuff. Got some slower pop stuff, some country-ish level stuff, But I guess my biggest inspiration or my biggest influence is probably like alternative rock, like '90s rock, early 2000s, that kind of alternative stuff. So I would consider myself kind of like an alternative rock. But I'm terrible with music and genres, and like I don't, people talk about all these crazy names for these genres, and I'm like, I have no idea what kind of music that is. It's like it's music.
They started
Music is
popping
music.
out with this
Uh,
industrial stuff, and I'm like,
right. Yeah. I mean, I get, there's rock, there's hip hop, there's country, there's pop, but like then all there's sub genres, and I'm like, I have no idea. I have no idea. Um, but no, I really was. I think on the first kind of album was exploring like, well, what is my genre? And it's the same with the band that I play with and the songs that we're writing. Um, Outside of what I do on my own, kind of we kind of go by this genre bending, you know, experience, where it's kind of a blend of a lot of different genres. And I don't know, maybe I'll eventually fall into one kind of or more narrow space and but I kind of really wanted to explore a bunch of different stuff. But yeah, I would say
yeah,
probably alternative rock kind of is like
yeah,
is what I would call my bread and butter. That's where I get most
right.
people.
Variety is cool though, man. I mean, so like if you're and plus you're drawing like, your fan base, you're getting a little bit from everybody, man, if you're offering like varieties and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I could get an album and you have me all over the place, you know what I mean? So that's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
cool. You're
yeah.
not
It's definitely yeah, definitely I got a little bit of everything. And maybe like I said, not everything, but each song I feel like is a little bit different. genre wise and feel wise, and um, but yeah, and then like I said, when we play out, that's what people like is not somebody who's just a country band or somebody who's just a metal band. It's somebody who if you can play a little bit of everything. Um, I guess like I said, I'm originally an entertainer. I like to entertain and make
Yeah.
people happy, make people smile, make people feel good. So being able to play things that people like has been kind of a key factor.
Yeah, right on. And you say you do a lot of lives, so, like, when can people, like, catch you live, man? When do you normally do your lives?
Yeah, so I'm on TikTok live a lot, streaming. Typically at night. It's been kind of a evolving timeline. I've got a family and two little kids and a wife, and so at first I was kind of going full blaze at it and doing it a couple times a day and kind of trying to build it up. But now I typically what's in my bio at least says kind of daily at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Um, but then some nights I do have shows, with the band or solo shows like out in real life that are it might be at different times. So I'll go live from those typically, but it might be earlier than 9, obviously, that we start. But yeah, around 9 o'clock Eastern time on TikTok Live is when I
And do
stream.
you do, like, a variety of stuff there as well? Just
Yeah, I
kinda
think I think the most fun part about doing the TikTok Live streaming is just being able to engage and interact with the people watching. So people come in, they chat. I've really built up some really cool friendships and connections with these people that are true fans of me now that I would have never found else, otherwise. Um, and so yeah, I get on and I'll typically start. I'll play a song just to kind of get warmed up and get people into the room. I'll play something typically that seems to get the most traction. Which is for me is a Matchbox 20 song. I get a lot of get a lot of traction whenever I play that. But yeah, and then like I said, once people kind of get in, I start asking questions. Where are you from? What kind of music do you like? Do you have any requests? If it's something I can play, I'll play it for you. If it's something I can't play, I'll tell you I already played it and you come back again tomorrow.
Right,
Uh,
gotcha.
but
Right.
but but yeah, so that's kind of the style. And then, like I said, it's just a lot of hanging out, kind of. I like to a lot of what I see too. It is just almost like kind of playing at a bar gig where it's like the people are coming and they're listening to me play, but then the people that are watching, they'll start chatting with each other, having their own conversations with each other in the chat, and so it's kind of like being at a bar and you're just playing music as kind of like entertaining for people, but they're hanging out, maybe drinking, having fun,
Chilling and vibing.
interacting with each other, and then in between songs, then they'll interact with me, and so definitely more interaction with people on TikTok than in real life generally. But
Right on.
but
And if you feel okay to, like, say, where are some of the local places or some of the places that you play where people might be able to just, like, swing by and catch you catch one of your jam sessions, man?
yeah, so I'm based out of Richmond, Virginia, so we play a lot of places around here. Um, uh, the Ville I'm playing at this week. We're playing at Hanover Vegetable Farm this weekend. It's a big stage, real big show. That'll be a lot of fun. If anybody's in the area, that's a cool spot to check out. And yeah, just pretty much check out either my page or 1041 Band is the name of the band. For yeah, a list of shows, and like I said, we're out pretty much every weekend, if not multiple times.
Cool, dude. That's awesome. It sounds like you're out having fun with it, man, and that's cool. Well, it sounds like a hobby that you love.
Yeah, for sure.
You sound very passionate with it. So, with that note, who are some of the artists and stuff that you look up to, man? Who inspire you?
Hmm. Yeah, well, like I said, I was originally initially like a guitar player, and I've always loved Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix. Now I don't claim to play like Jimi Hendrix. In fact, I probably can't play like Jimi Hendrix. Um, but those two guys kind of like I thought were kind of pioneers of um, you know the kind of guitar that I liked, and Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin. Um, as far as like vocally, like I said, I really connect with kind of like that '90s era alternative rock, like Goo Goo Dolls, Matchbox 20, Rob Thomas,
Nice.
uh, Three Doors Down. Um, I remember as a kid, I was really into Linkin Park. Not that my music really is like theirs, but I'm sure it's rubbed off to an extent. That an influence with the early Linkin Park stuff, and um, real big fan of Eminem. I don't know
Oh,
if that
yeah,
gets
yeah.
into my music at all, but
Hey, man, that's cool, though.
but
Keep your genres open.
yeah. Like I said, never been a big country music person, but I've kind of more recently gotten into some more country music stuff and really
Mhm,
like Tyler Childers and Zach Bryan, like that um kind of more folk country Americana
mhm.
type music. But yeah, I mean, it really kind of like listening to a little bit of everything.
So, literally, man, if I just wanted to go to a radio station, man, just catch you on your live, dude, and I'm gonna hear a variety of all kinds of stuff. Like, just
Yeah,
sit
and
back.
it'll kind of depend on who's watching,
Yeah.
and what the vibe is, So I played a show by myself a few weeks ago, and was started with some classic rock and got a lot of feedback on, oh yeah, we really like, they like the classic rock, and then I kind of did some of the '90s stuff that I more prefer, um, and maybe didn't get as much. So I was like, okay, well, this crowd likes more classic rock. Let me, so
Yeah.
I'll kind of cater to what I play to, because I like classic rock too, obviously. Uh, so it all depends, so I really like to engage with, who's listening and, what they want to hear. And if it's something I can do, I'll certainly do it. If you come in and ask me to play Master of Puppets by Metallica, I'm probably going to say, you have to go somewhere else for that.
Right on.
I do a mighty good, I do a mighty good Enter the Sandman by Metallica. So
Uh,
I can fake that one enough.
hey, man, don't
I
be
like to
calling.
tell people. I like to tell people I just fake it till you make it, and just people buy it. Is I guess it's as long as you have the energy, the charisma, you know the vibe. People
Right.
don't care if you're like the best that's out there. Or
Well, I can speak, like, from personal experiences because, like, I've watched, like, your lives a couple times, man, and, like, I mean, it's like you said, there's so much genre, which is really cool, because I have a variety of music to listen to, which is awesome, and but I also noticed that, I mean, you kinda, like, put your little spin, your own little thing, within your music, and, I'm gonna tell anybody that's listening right now, man, if they get a chance to catch you live, bro, go check you out because you definitely hit it out of the park, man. You
I
do.
appreciate
You're really good at your craft, bud. You are. Um, yep. With that note, if you had a chance to collab with anybody that you wanted to collab with, who was some of the collab people that you would want to? I mean, whether they would be like some newer artist or like, big time artist. I mean, who would you like to do a little bit of collabing with, man?
wow, man.
What would just like totally just like, man, you'd be floored. You'd be on cloud nine. You'd be like, yeah.
Um. Well, man, yeah. I guess if you were gonna go with, you know, living or unliving, I mean, I think a big fan right now, or always been, of like Chris Cornell,
Mm,
especially Audio Slave and with Tom Morello, and the, yeah, even just being able to learn from those guys or talk to them and just say like, how did y'all come up with this stuff?
yeah.
Maybe not even so much a collab as just like a get to meet, um, and pick their brain, but um, uh, yeah, as far as kind of like current bands, um, I struggle with it's like the stuff they play on the radio nowadays. It's like I feel like isn't rock music anymore, and I'm sure that I know there's people out there that are making it. It's just at least where I'm at, the radio stations, it's like they're not playing it, and I guess I'm too lazy to go out and look for it. But
Yeah.
one kind of new band that I really do like is they're an Italian band called Monoskin. I'm
Really?
sure you've heard some of their songs. Got songs like "Begging You," I'm begging, begging you.
They
Would
sing
you love it? Yeah, they're
that?
called Monoskin, and they got a bunch of good music, and they're kind of still rock and roll to me. You know, they're still
Yeah,
playing guitars, they're playing drums. It's not a bunch of fake drums and keyboards and synthesizers and stuff. And they seem like some pretty cool guys to be able to hang out with and write some music with.
yeah.
Um,
I always thought it was a heavy hitter, man, when Cornell and Chester, when they passed away, I thought it was like a huge gouge to the music industry, just because, I mean, those were 2 voices, I don't care where you were at in the dark, your back faced you just knew who it was. Iconic, iconic voices, and it was just it just really sucked, when those
mhm.
guys went, but they brought so much to the industry itself and opened up so many doors for other artists, to play in and things like that, so,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
um do you have, like, any, like, small little tours planned or anything you gonna set up, like, any, like, little tour gigs or anything like that any of that
So
yet? Releasing of an EP yet or
as far as touring, no. Like I said, I got two small kids and wife at home, and I guess if the right opportunity were to present itself, but no, I'm not seeking out anything like that. I'm like I said, I released an album just kind of for fun for me,
yeah,
for the people that wanted to hear it. At the end of last year, and I've been kind of working on some new stuff. I've got 4 or 5 new songs that I've kind of been recording and playing with the past couple months. One that I think I'm getting ready to release here soon in the next week. But yeah, just kind of working on some music, kind of working on building my fan base. And
yeah,
the thing with the TikTok live has been kind of cool is one of the things I do when I engage with everybody is ask, hey, where are you listening to me from? I'm Corey, I'm from Virginia, where are you at? And so I'll get people that tell me, I'm in Ohio, I'm in Pennsylvania, I'm in Washington, I'm in California, Texas. I get all these states, and so I'm like,
um,
well, okay, I'm writing
yeah,
those things down on a list, like, okay, well, if I ever do go on a tour, these are the places
right.
I need to go. And
I was gonna ask you if you had, like, a little pin board for every time someone told you a city or a state that they were from, you were just pinning, but you said you were writing it down, so that's cool.
right. Yeah. Well, taking mental notes.
Yeah,
But it's kind of cool because then you're like, yeah, well, that is kind of how you do it, because me playing out of my bar is never, somebody in California is never going to know about me if I'm playing
yeah,
at a bar in Virginia. Obviously. But, so I feel like it is a very unique tool to be able to build your reach. And I mean, I've gained thousands of followers just from doing it since I started.
cool.
Um, and of course TikTok's weird, and it's like 1 minute you're up here and then I'm doing the exact same thing and the next minute it's down here. So it goes up and down with, viewers and followers and all that stuff that, I'm a very data analytical person. So I'm sitting there trying to analyze, well, what did I do wrong? Was my light turned the wrong way? Or, do I need to change the color of this light? And, um, but, uh, but yeah, so, yeah, having people that are listening to me. I got people from Australia, I have people from New Zealand. I think
New
I
Zealand.
always try to make a little competition, like who's the farthest away, and
Yeah.
whenever my Australian fans come in the chat, I'm like, well, y'all win. So
Dude, that's
unless
cool.
unless you're from Mars or something, but
Right.
and then it goes on from there to like a cool solo in the recording. Yeah, the recording of it's got a real heavy guitar, like it's acoustic and heavy guitar chorus, and it's got a cool solo and stuff. So I'm really excited about the recording. I like playing it acoustic too. But
Mhm.
anyways,
Not like you don't have to, like, go into super detail or anything, but is there, like, a specific inspiration behind that song to you or anything like that? Or is that just something that you just kinda laid out, man?
so that's probably comes from a couple of different places. So
I was I heard heart when you were
yeah,
it was there was feelings in your song, man, and the way you were singing it, it was passionate.
yeah. No, I appreciate that. So uh, a little over a month ago, my um, wife lost her dad,
Wow, sorry.
and so I had written another song at the time that was kind of inspired by that, kind of like more like a healing type of song, and I think since that's happened, and I feel like a lot of the lyrics kind of were kind of about her in a way that she puts on a smile, but she's kind of drowning underneath. She's trying to be this strong person that, um, and she's probably listening to me in the other room right now talking. So this is really awkward, um, I think also maybe in some sort of introspective way, it might be a little bit about myself.
Mhm.
My therapist says, uh, but um, so it's probably a little bit of from different, and I also kind of write stuff that I think just sounds cool sometimes. But yeah, there's the people out there that may be struggling that with depression that are you don't know about it and things like that, and so that's kind of what the song's about, the black heart. You know, somebody struggling with internally, but maybe not showing it or it's being hidden.
Right on. No, man, I get it, dude. That's pretty good, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
If you were trying to make somebody feel something, you did it.
Uh-huh.
That
Well, I
that's
appreciate.
that's good. That's good.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, and I've been playing it for my friends and fans and lives and stuff, and it's one of their favorites now too. So there's kind of like a little uh, micro trend going on in my community with people are adding the black heart emojis to stuff. We'll send
Cool,
each other the
dude.
black heart emoji, and so it's
Yeah,
kind of like, well, that's kind of cool, like a cool marketing thing, I guess.
yeah. That's kinda cool, man, seeing your own little, like, I don't know, little Blackheart fans out there, I guess, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Obviously, you
all 10 of
you
them. Yeah,
hey, it's 10 now. It was 2 once before. Who's to say it can't be 50 and on up? Come on now. You know how
yeah,
it works. You got people coming in your lives all the time, dude, so your life is busy. They're in and out, in and out, in and out, and there's a lot of new people always coming to check you out, dude. So it's not like you suck, so stop. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You're really good at what you do. I'm not just saying that, man. People really should go check out your live when you're on there or whatever, or even go, check out some of your music, or even if they can catch you live in person. Yeah, I mean, I would do it for a night. You know what I mean? It'd be cool because for me, you got the perfect voice for when I want to sit down and kick it with the boys at a bar and have some beer and stuff like that. Dude, you are the man.
sang it, and I mean, we kind of came up with the instrumental, and I recorded an
Mhm.
instrumental, and anyways, we did a little tipping and tapping on the computer and put the song together, and um, yeah, it became known as the anthem of 2025, and I think we released it kind of not to get into politics and stuff, but right around the change of presidencies and all that stuff that was going around at the end of January and all the uncertainty and everything that people had. So the idea of a lot going on, don't know what to do. I think it's
And
just this.
she wrote the lyrics to that herself. She did all of that.
Yeah, it's kind of as a parent, you're kind of like, well,
Awesome.
what's going on? Like, why, why are you 7 years old and think there's a lot going on? And I think to her, she, there were hundreds of comments of just like, wow, this is so sad that a 7-year-old is feeling all this pain. And I was like, guys, she's 7. She's a lot going on. Is she's mad that she's too old for unicorns to be cool still, and it's too cold to go swimming in a pool because it's January. Like that's what she means by a lot going on.
Right.
But people were saying, "Oh, she's anti this, she's anti that." I'm like, she doesn't even know what any of that stuff is.
Right.
Um,
I look
so yeah,
at it this is how I interpret it. I look at it as, you know, her being 7, and obviously, we all our eyes are windows, and her seeing just all of the crazy stuff in the world going on right now, whether you're 7 or not, you know what's right and you know what's wrong. And that's how I see it for even her, which is pure and straight from the heart at 7 years old to be able to put something out like that, dude. That to me is why that went viral. That's what I
mhm,
think. I mean, it was just so pure, man, and the truth. You know what I mean? There's truth to it, and
yeah,
so innocent.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, she was a lot cuter than me, and, um, but yeah, no, I think at the time I was like, "Well, you know what? I give up on music," I was like, "I'll just ride her, coattails." I've written all these songs and all these words that I put time into, and nobody listened to them, and, she puts down 11 words, and it's a viral, hit, but no, that's just a joke, but, it is shows you that, you don't have to, like, write something, super complex and
Yeah,
deep to really connect with somebody.
true, true.
Sometimes it's just this. So, anyways, she just started working on her second song after a 6 month hiatus. Um, I posted a little teaser of that the other day. I was because a week prior, I asked her. I said, Penelope, people are still asking me when you're going to release your next song, and she goes, "Oh, I'm done with that. I don't want. I'm not writing another song." So she was just happy being a one hit wonder, and then I got this new guitar, and I think that was I told her about the new guitar. She was like, "Oh, well, let's write another song." And so she pulled out her pen and paper this time, and she was actually writing the lyrics down.
Dude,
That
that's so cool.
was pretty funny. But so yeah, we're working on that. I mean, we'll see whether or not it measures up to the first one, but uh,
Right
uh,
on.
either way, it's a cool, fun thing to do with her that I
Yep,
enjoy doing.
right. Absolutely. Well, hey, man, I don't wanna hold you up. I know you got family time and everything going on, so just gonna kinda wrap some things up. If I want to find your music, where do I go?
Yeah,
How
so
do I find
I am well on all the social media. It's at Cory Evans Music. That's Cory with no E. Um, and if you are here on TikTok and you go to my bio, I've got a link in my bio that takes you to all this like Spotify, Apple Music, um, uh, iTunes, YouTube, all the links basically to anywhere you could possibly stream your music. It'll be there. But yeah, the easiest way probably is find me, look up at Cory Evans Music, whether you're on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. You find my music there, and yeah, I'm got videos here on TikTok and Instagram, and then like I said, all my music's out on the streaming platforms.
Cool, dude. Well, thanks for hanging out with us today, man. You don't go anywhere if you wouldn't, please. I'm gonna close this out real quick, and,
Okay.
I'll talk to you a little bit after this. Um, that wraps up today, entertainment today, guys. Thank you for checking it out. Again, you got the guy here, the guy, with, his massive voice. I'm telling you, check out his live. You guys are gonna love it. He, like, just and there really is a genre. I mean, you get a chance, check out Cory Evans. You have a wide variety of music, and you won't be bored. At saying at that, well, we'll catch you all for the next show. You know where to find us, and we'll talk to you soon.